Everyone. My name is Darian Tucker, and I'm operating as the host of Civilized podcast. Glad to have you all here. Uh, so what we're going to do, we're going to introduce the panel, let the panel introduce themselves.
No, thank you. My name
Hey,
is Dushawn Dotson.
hey, I'm
Can you repeat
Cabra
that one more
Bruce. How
time?
y'all doing out here today?
Okay. And Dushan, go introduce yourself one more time because
I'm sorry.
there's a lot
My
of
name
stuff.
is Dushawn Dotson.
Your battery is very low.
Okay. Okay, Dushan. All right, her computer just died. All right, everyone. So we're gonna come on in with the announcements. Cable, have any announcements? Any announcements, Cable?
We know tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, so as we all get ready to celebrate King Day, we wish everybody a safe and happy holiday. And by way of announcements, that's about all right now that we have upcoming. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel page, and please share.
Okay. And for those that are blind and you somehow stumble upon this video, uh, and you don't have any blind peers or peer support around you, and you feel like no one understands you, uh, because they don't have that disability that you have. Uh, on January 27th, there is a at-large chapter meeting of the NFB. At-large chapter is basically like a meeting or a chapter where people go who don't have like geographical peer support groups around them, or you know, uh, it's solely to encourage independence in the blind. Um, so yeah, that's January 27th meeting. If you would like, to go to this meeting, please email civilized eyes podcast at gmail.com. That's CIVILIZEDEYES at gmail.com. A lot of good information there, a lot of resources there, that I think you will be glad to have. Um, Also, there's an upcoming event um, that you're not doing, like, your church isn't doing anything for Martin Luther King Day, Gabriel.
No, we're not. Due to the new Omicron virus, a lot of things are becoming virtual, and a lot of things now becoming on Zoom. So we are not having anything particular, but I know that our local chapter of the NAACP is putting something on. I think it's on the 21st of this month, and that's by Zoom, or it could be on Facebook, but check your local listings. I know it'll be a lot of the events. A lot of the parades this year went virtual or were just out canceled, and we know it's unfortunate, but due to the times we are in, that seems to be the normal here, and we look forward to in the future getting back to celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King in person.
Okay, thank you for that. Um, there's another upcoming. There's no Well, there is an upcoming event that Eugene Tribe is doing down here in LaGrange, Georgia. That's Troup County. And that event is uh, Valentine's Day. Around Valentine's Day, there are going to be a fundraiser where raffle tickets are going to be sold uh, for the kids, the tickets will be uh, $3 a piece. Well, $3 for each ticket, one ticket. But a purchase of three uh, will be $6 donation. Um, that it'll be six. Price will be $6 for three tickets. The adult tickets will be. I'm trying to make sure. Oh, $5 a ticket, and for three, it'll be 15. No, no, $10. $10 uh for three raffle tickets. So yeah, that'll be like February the 7th or 9th. But in order to get the exact date, you can go up on Ujima Tribe website at um, .net. That's UJIMATRIBE UJIMATRIBE.net. Okay. Um, okay, so I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Um, well, not that. Okay, there's nothing at this moment that I can think of. There's
Mm.
more, maybe another announcement.
But just look down in the comments below as you watch this video, and if it's any upcoming events or announcements that we have forgot, we will put in the comment section of this video and put the necessary time, information, and link in the description for you to be able to attend those events.
Okay, thank you, Caber. All right, now we're going to move into the pop topics. Uh, we just, I'm just now started. We're just now starting to incorporate pop topics into our podcast. The last podcast, when that Warren came on and returned to share his updates on his ventures and his knowledge of LLC and nonprofit organizations. Um, we did a few pop topics and it was real interesting. So we decided to put them into our every week weekly podcast. So the pop topic that I'm going to do today is going to be on memory. I spoke a little bit about it on that podcast as well. Um, Memory, a lot of things, people don't memorize and don't put the effort in to memorize. Valuing memorization is a real important thing, because you might be without a telephone or whatever it was that you put your notes and remembering, the recollections in. Uh, like just there's many type of ways many things you can do to remember something. Uh, like Dushan, she doesn't when she's told a phone number, she doesn't remember the whole entire phone number digit by digit, but she breaks them down in large chunk. Some people make songs, about what they want to remember. Uh, so those are things. But did you know that you remember less of what you listen to? So say if you're sitting in a classroom and you're listening to a teacher do like a 30-minute, no, 10, 15-minute lecture on Leonardo DiCaprio, you're not gonna listen, you're not gonna remember that whole 15-minute lecture. But in statistics, well, my fixed almost close statistics, because I don't have the documents with me right now. You only will remember probably like 25% of that out of the whole lecture. But if you read the lecture, you'll remember more. Maybe remember more like 50% of it, of just from reading the lecture. And from writing the lecture down, you'll remember 75%. So these things are important because a lot of us like to listen to stuff these days on social media, YouTube videos, but we're not going to remember that much of it. We spend all this time, on social media and things like that. Uh, Consider writing those things down that you're watching on social media, and you'll be surprised at how much you remember what you've watched. Uh, and it for the pop topics. Uh, no, 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 no. That's not it for the pop topics because there was only one. I have one other pop topic that I may just freestyle on. Okay, you have something to say?
I was just thinking about memory. Do you think what level of your memory you think you're at as a person? If you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, I say, man, I'm probably scale 1 to 10. I'm probably like an 8. You know, I'm probably like an 8 or 9. I'm up there.
Now I remember when I used to could remember everything, and we have to, as blind people, we have to remember so much. I was thinking of the day when I was at work on how I had to remember everybody's voice. We had so many people walking by, hey, Cable, and in my mind, when they say, hey, Cable, I had to process who they are. It ain't like I could just look at them and see who they are and walk by,
Right,
and that you had to remember who they are, and we had to remember so much processing information for us as visual impaired people. Um, we never took time to just think about how we have to process so much information, and a lot of our memories, what's called muscle memory. And I was telling people that I can do stuff so much the same way, and I can know that when it's wrong, when it get out of sync. Like if everything go the right way all the time, or feel the same way all the time, and then my memory will kick in when it becomes wrong. Like that's how I'm able to do a lot of quality check on my job. Like if I pick up a box, it feels the same. I don't remember how it's supposed to feel every time. So if it's heavier or lighter, my memory will kick in to the point that this ain't right. And or like when I'm walking somewhere and going the wrong way, and I know that my memory would let me know that, hey, you should have been there by now. You might have veered off. So
right.
and just having to remember so much, and that's a good quality that I have, that I can remember on a higher level than the average person.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate memorizing?
To be 42 years old and to be having to remember so much, I would think I would be in that 7 range now. Uh, I, I I can admit there's some things I do forget.
Mm,
Um, the important level I think now has kicked in. The older I got, that is something's not that important on a higher level. That it's not. I would used to remember everything and remember so much, but now prioritize. I try to prioritize what I remember now.
right. Okay. Yeah. And so when it comes to the podcast, I bet you remember more than me because I didn't even know that the podcast was today. you know, and you called me and reminded me. Uh, so yeah, the next pop topic though is it's going to be pertaining to language. I don't know how many of you all are linguistics out there, but I like language. But there are some things that I did not know about language. Did you know that in court, in school, in movies, on documents, that that language is used to interpret? Yeah, I bet you knew that. But did you know like it can be like used as a weapon when it comes to like legalities? And if you do not know um, the depths of language and the meanings, then you can put yourself in a situation that might be hard to come up out of.
Yeah, a lot of times we have just we can read stuff or stuff have been read to us, and we accept it, and we have to figure out the terminology that is being used as stuff is being fed to us, and certain things. And that me and you, I think we have had this discussion before. That certain words have double meanings, and you got to put in context what that word means pertaining to what situation you are in.
Right,
So a lot of times you can hear a certain word and you may think it means something and it means something totally different. And then when it be put back in your face, you may not feel that you agreed to the right terms um, based on um, what you have agreed to. I can give you a prime example. Back in '08, a lot of people agreed to what was called subprime mortgages, and if you and they didn't know that, and somebody was saying that they thought that sub mean under, that it was gonna go down, but that's was not what it meant. That meant that the rate fluctuated based on inflation and the economy thing. So at the time, you had some people who had $400 mortgage jumping up to 25 hundred dollars a month, and they didn't know that. They thought that hey, there was a possibility that it may drop below based on the word sub. So a lot of times when you agree to things, you hear things, you read things, you have to get the whole content of what it is and what it means, or you will be in trouble.
huh? Oh, tell them they can go.
And
Tell them
so
I'm gone.
that means
Tell them
that
that I'm gone.
you know that
Nah,
you
tell them
know
I'm gone.
just remember what you're getting yourself into based on what you hear. And when you hear those things and you agree to those terms, research on the meanings of words. And so and
Right.
understand the language that's being spoken to you or that you're being read in the terms that it is.
Oh, all right, Gabriel. I'm gonna let you continue. Just hold it down, and
Okay.
I'll be back.
Okay. And so as we continue, to talk about language, as Darian walks out, as that being one of our top pop topics, and I would tell everybody get up understanding, open up a line of communication, and get a understanding of what people are saying to you, so you can make the best decision on what's going on based on what the true understanding, not what you think you understand. Because we could be thinking wrong if we don't know what we're thinking. So always in all things, I would tell people get understanding. If you don't know something, raise your hand, ask questions. It used to be old saying, even the genius asks question. But ask question. No question is a dumb question. Ask question. Always, I as a person, I always ask why. Why am I doing? Why do I have to do this, or why do this need to be done that way. So
Okay.
when you get the answer, then at least you would know what you're doing based on the expectation that people have for you.
Okay. And I just want to jump back or
Okay, go ahead.
jump to back to the language.
Mm-hmm.
This pop topic. So, all right. So, just say, Gabriel, that uh, I'm very skilled in language, right? And
Right, right.
I come to you. I mean, you've been like this. Might be your life might be depending on this question that I'm going to ask you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You might get locked up for like 80 some years,
Right.
or you might get death penalty if you don't get this right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, okay, I come. We're in a court setting.
Okay.
I say, hey, Mr. Gabriel, you've been teaching the kids wrong in school, and
Okay.
there's a law that if you teach against the curriculum standards that we set, you can be prosecuted for up to 40 years because that can affect that child mind
Uh-huh.
all the way through their adulthood, from childhood to adulthood. So, uh, this is what you've been teaching the child. You've been teaching the child what a sword is,
Mm-hmm.
and so right here I have on this computer right here I have a picture of a banana. I have a picture of a metal looking thing that might be a sword, maybe. Is that? And then I have a picture of a boat.
Okay.
Now, which picture on this computer is a sword? Is there a sword on this screen that I'm showing you, Mr. Gabriel?
Based on we know the banana or the boat wouldn't be a sword, so that would leave the metal looking thing to be interpreted as a sword if it somehow fits the qualifications of a sword.
Okay. So but I don't know if that's your answer or not. But
Okay.
so before you do this, let me just tell you, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you said do will be used against you in the court of law.
Yeah.
Now, in approaching this, now I'm going to turn into an attorney. Okay,
Okay.
Mr. Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
So before, like, you want to try to answer this question, why don't you just pull up the definition of what a sword is? Okay, so let's do that. Okay. Hey Google, increase volume to 7. Hey Google, what is a sword?
According to Wikipedia, a sword is an edged-bladed weapon intended for manual cutting or thrusting. Its blade,
Okay.
longer than a knife or dagger, is attached to a hilt and can be straight or curved. A thrusting sword tends to have a straighter blade with a pointed tip.
Oh, okay. Now hearing that,
Okay.
and I got like a picture.
Mm-hmm.
I got them 3 pictures. Now
Okay.
what is your answer?
Now hearing that, I would go with the metal thing as the sword
Okay, on the screen.
on the screen. Yes.
Okay. Now, see, now I would say that's wrong. I mean, I would say there's not a sword on.
I see where you're going with this, and I understand I see where you're going with this. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
do.
yeah. I already
Now,
know. I'm glad
yeah,
you
yeah,
played.
yeah. So you're right. Based on the definition, that would be wrong.
Right,
But for a person who don't know that definition at that time, they're agreeing to something that they didn't have the right to agree to.
right.
They could have just basically remained silent
Mm-hmm.
But if they were shown 3 pictures and one of them similar, because now if you use the word similar will have to come into play. That will have to be the
And that was not the question. I said, which one of these is a sword?
You see,
You
so
know,
the answer will be neither.
neither.
The true answer will be neither. But
And,
if you pressed in the situation, and for somebody who's never somebody who so you base it on somebody who has a 4th, 5th, 6th grade education, right? Let's or been kicked out of school or who haven't, and, and I'm not saying you understand what I'm saying, and so then you had to factor in the heat of the moment, and then you had to factor in the terminology that get used. It would be easy to say that's a sword.
right, right.
Does it has so?
And
Does it
we
has a blade?
and hey, and can you cut with it? I
Can you
mean, I
cut with it?
cannot. Okay, can
Can
I
you
take
thrust it?
right, right? Is it metal or
Is
okay? Is this sword on this screen? Okay, is this picture on this screen metal? No,
could it
it's
be
pixels.
plastic?
It's pixels.
Mm-hmm.
It's plastic. It's
Yeah.
pixels. That's and I can't cut with it. I can't take the screen and go to a piece of cake and I can't. So this ain't a sword. It's a symbol of a sword,
Right.
but it's not actually a sword.
Right.
It's a some people would say, "Dude, well, that's crazy to be trying to lock a teacher up for that." It's crazy to be trying to teach somebody, that, but it's not crazy when it's in court and,
Right.
and your life depending on it. You know what I'm saying? You need to know. You need to think critically about everything because you
And,
know.
and I also think us as people, and this is something that I have been thinking that may need to, and I was going to share this with you. And I'm glad it came up, and we need to teach people how to properly defend themselves in certain situations.
Right.
It need to be classes on how do you defend yourself, what to say in situation, because a lot of time people don't know when do I have to, what is a Miranda, they like I'm a Mirandalize you, if that's the proper word for you, reason your rights basically.
Yeah.
Miranda, yeah, you're going, when do you read me my right? After I don't talk too much or said 30 minutes. So and then so anything I can say can be used against me when? After or before? And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know that situation. That when you how to handle a traffic stop properly. What's the proper way to handle a traffic stop? What's the proper way to handle a warrant situation? What's the proper way to deal with authorities? So what's the proper way? And that's why we have a lot of situation where people get put in situations that they don't know, how to do it. I have seen, I watch cops, and we all watch cops, and they'll tell you you ain't under arrest, but you putting cuffs on me. So what do that make a person feel?
What?
You know, you tell me I ain't under arrest, but you cuffing me.
Yeah.
That.
So
Go ahead.
and then what I'm saying, like in the midst of all that,
Hmm.
the exchanging of words. See, you got to be like we have to be thinking about that courtroom.
Right.
Okay, if we get to court, your words gonna be like they said. Your words are gonna be used against you in a court of law. So I don't care where you at. You want to always think critically and know exactly what you need to say because you'll be thinking out of emotion, angry. You just saying anything, and you ain't really hearing what the person's saying or what it could possibly mean, and how you can use that to protect yourself. You know, you get to court and you're like, oh, you said this. And I got a recorder on me all the time because I'm a police officer. Now let me play it. Yeah, you said that. Yeah, but I wasn't saying it like that. But hey, this is the common understanding, you know, you did say it like that. Look at the context. And then, you know, that's all evidence. And then, yeah, then you get booked on it. And I mean, not booked on it, but you get sentenced based off of that. So, man, this language is very important. So
And
that's a
also,
pop topic, you know.
and I,
Oh, go ahead.
I was saying also remember. Well, we also have to remember that I always take the approach and assume I'm being recorded at all times. And if you take that approach, you know, we know now with body cams and we know with a lot of sounds and everything. So I just, you know, assume you're being recorded. So, and that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing.
Right.
It could be the recording can be used to exonerate you and it can be used to convict you. So,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind when you're pulling out cameras and showing out and want to do that same footage that you may want to show on the other end can also show some intent on our end.
Right.
So just know that meaning.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And for somebody like me, I've been in court a couple of times and I watched a lot of court shows and everything. And I have always seen the same thing. And it's always the terminology of a language. It's just like people, when they borrow money and they be like, hey, sign the promissory note. Well, at the time, you just trying to get them $300. You know, you just trying to borrow $300. And then when you don't pay back and you say, well, it was a gift. And then they come out, no, you signed your promissory note. And they be like, what's a promissory note? You promised to pay back the amount you borrowed in this time. Okay, close.
Right. Yeah, so this is a good little topic though. The pop topic has become the main topic. Can you hear me, Gabriel?
Yeah, I can hear
Pop
you.
topic
Good.
has
I can hear
become the
you.
main topic.
Yes, sir.
So it's a oh man, language. So do you man, it's easy when you know the principles that makes up the structure of language.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to better interpret what someone is saying and you know what someone has written down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like for the instance, the word, what was that word?
I remember one time we talked about the word gay. One time, remember?
Okay, yeah, see, gay. Gay has several meanings.
Now, growing up, I always was, and then and this, and let me throw this disclaimer out. This is not a fact. This is just a based on my experience growing up. Okay, and I was always told that before I even knew the true definition that gay meant a homosexual person or alternative person was was that with the word gay, and I never knew gay, but I heard the word gay. I remember watching the Flintstones, and we used to say we'll have a gay old time. Not it was not until I got older that I knew the word gay meant happy. That was the proper definition of the word gay, happy. So that's two definitions that I have experienced in my life.
Right. So I can tell how someone is using gay
Mm-hmm.
by the context that they're using it in.
Okay.
So in some cases it may be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you come to me and say, "Hey, I'm gay," you know,
Right.
the positive mindset, I would say, okay, that's great. What made you so happy?
Right.
You know, well, I went and did this day, and this happened. You know, but if somebody comes like the reason why I talk like this and I walk like this is because I'm gay. See, really, it's hard though, because
Right.
both of them really seem as if
Mm-hmm.
they might be kind of suspect. But you shouldn't just assume. You should just say, "Oh, you're talking about you're happy." Uh, as
But
in,
that would be the safe bet to just always assume happy. But if I assume that we as a society have to allow people to go with what we know versus what you think I should know.
right,
Because a lot of time, if you come up and say, if I come up and say I'm gay to you, and you and me, you say, "Oh, you happy?" Now I can't get mad at you for you not recognizing that that's my preference as a person, because
right.
you may only know the definition of happy, and vice versa.
By it being so toxic right now,
Hmm.
I would not say that. Just because I know the world
Right.
that we live in,
Yeah,
you know.
you have to be very, very careful as people now on how you address situations at your job, at your business, at your meeting, even with family members. Um, you have to, and we know this, know what we're saying at all times. And a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, and I be at work and I be talking to people and people be talking, and I had to let them know, 'cause they may say to somebody else, "Man, you so blind, you can't see it," but they'll think that offend me, because I'm actually really blind. But that person may not. They might have been like, "Look over there, you see that box over there? Hand me that box." And they be like, "I don't see no box." You see what I'm saying? Then first thing they be like, "Man, you so blind, you blind as a bat," or something like that. For me, I understand that's what it is. So that won't offend me. But to some people, it may. It may take offense to. So what I have learned as a person is to always know what I'm saying at all times, so we can't be twisted up, and learn what people are saying to you, because you can get lowered down a road in conversation that, if you don't pay attention, you have put yourself in something you may not want to be in, and it'd be hard to get out once you're out there. And that's why some conversations are appropriate, some are inappropriate, and a lot of time people have always labeled inappropriate conversation with certain things, but a lot of basic conversations sometimes um, can be inappropriate. So we have to define what the definition of inappropriate is, and then once we define what the definition of inappropriate is, then we base that on what conversations we're having. Um, I don't think it's appropriate to at work to be talking about what your after work preferences are. That's if you bring that up, I may feel that's inappropriate. And so why would you get mad if I make a comment that you may not like? But a lot of times we look at people who would like to be validated or would like to have conversations and things. So that's why I always preface those conversations, even with politics. I always said I don't like to talk about sex. I don't like to talk about politics or religion at work. And they'd be like, why? Because I said it never ends well. It's always gonna end up with somebody in the office. And I don't want that person to be me.
Right, right. Uh, like, like, you know, hey Darian,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to come over here, and I want you to tell me about the study of James Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Automatically, I'm gonna say, okay, yeah, it's the study of James Williams.
Right.
Oh, okay. So somebody, okay, yeah, I remember that. Well, I don't remember that, but I'm assuming that it's somebody did a study on James Williams.
Right.
No, here's Craig. Hey, man, nah. So it couldn't only mean that somebody did a study on James Williams. It could be the study of James Williams himself.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been studying something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It could be either type way. So language, it kind of can be tricky sometimes too.
Yeah. It vary. And so that's why that's why we're saying that get proper contents and everything. Even with terms in use, read the terms and use. A lot of times we just accept things. If an app won't, like, let's say an app, right? If they say if you can't accept the terms of use, they won't give you the app. Well, you may not need it. You may not want it because what you giving up? I won't give if I may take a picture and I post it on the app. But the terms of use say, hey, once that picture get posted on our platform, we're the proper owner of that photo. So now I have no more rights to that photo just because I want to post it up and let all my friends see. And then one day that photo may come and I may want to take it down and a make some money off of it. And then that place may say, hey, we own this photo.
But see, yeah, yeah. So that's language. Y'all
Right,
better
because they say
get on
all
it.
images. They may say image, but if you don't know what an image is, image and photo two different words, but they mean the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all better get on it.
Yeah, they mean the same thing. They say we have the right to all images.
What's a
Then
what's a habeas corpus? Oh, see, now you done mess me up. Dang, boy,
yeah,
my head about to spin.
yeah. But I want to get on, so I'm accepting. And so then one day that situation come up, then
Yeah,
copywriting. You see now a lot of times on Facebook, people have to say, I don't own the rights to this music. It was time where you used to could put music on your pages and things and nothing but it's copyright law. You know
hmm
what is copyright? For us, we just vibing to the music in the background. You know what I'm saying? We just got a nice little chill vibe, got the slow music playing in the background. Then that thing, your content good took down because you didn't know what violating the copyright term was.
dang. And then
I did
okay, I want to
I
get
did a
into this
video.
too. I'm gonna let you
Go
go.
ahead. Go ahead. You
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
let you. Okay, so I'm a dates dates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's talking about taking me out on a date. Nah, I ain't talking about taking you out on a date. I'm talking about time in this world dates.
Mm-hmm.
In school, they teach the kids not that they don't have to remember the dates. What? History. That's history. You hey, remember the dates. Please remember the dates.
And that's how we got by on certain dates. And see, now we are in a movement of rewriting history.
See what I'm saying? Then that's you lying.
Yeah,
You
now we
lying. See, that's not hey, you're corrupting. You're taking stuff away from me. You're changing how stuff really happened then. So So you got me out here as a liar, and you're teaching this curriculum as if it is the truth. Whose fault is that? I mean, it might be my fault. It might be my parents' fault for not doing their due diligence and us not preserving
So
our.
growing up, do you think that we as people back then was just so happy to have an opportunity that we accepted what was being thrown out, given to us without questioning it?
Okay, let me say this.
Right. Okay.
It's going there. So
Mhm.
when you used to speak Arabic,
Mhm.
when you used to speak, when you used to speak French or
Mhm.
Spanish or whatever
Okay.
language it might be,
Right.
and the event of someone signing a contract, you know, and you're like taken out of there, taken out from your place, your area,
Mhm.
and to another place, as if you're getting the opportunity to work and gain more resources.
Right.
And something happens to you over there, you're given another language. It came back to language.
Right.
And over time, you've been taught this language. Your child has been taught this language.
Mhm.
Their child been taught this language. They've been given new meanings. And now, your mind is language.
Mhm.
All you do is think about language every day. You think in words and meanings.
Right.
So the way you see stuff change.
Right.
You're told that gold, shiny stuff is what you
Right.
need to go after.
Right.
You know. So I say, yeah, we've been manipulated, by our own people. I ain't know. See, I don't really, yeah, but our own people and
Mhm.
by others,
Right.
you know. And we have this today. People not knowing what is really valuable. Um,
Because we was told, I was, that the price of a dollar was was uh supported in gold. Right. The price of a dollar was supported by gold. That
so gold supports the dollar.
right. That was we was taught
Uh,
growing in school. Right.
what does that mean?
Yeah. That's my question.
Gold supports the dollar. Is
So
okay. So is gold a person? you
no.
know. Okay, it's not a personification.
Hmm.
So gold supports. So what? I don't understand that.
Now that I'm older, I don't. But when I was younger, I thought that one day if I needed to, that I can go, that anything happen, I can go to the bank and take this money and get gold for it. But we know now, based on the value of the dollar, the value of goods, and when you're dealing with inflation and the way money kind of the flow of the currency right now when it comes to money, that's it's impossible to support the dollar at, and then the question will be at what rate, at what value does my dollar become? So my question would be, how much do I get for a dollar versus $5, then versus $10, then versus 20? So then you go back and you look at what's the price of gold on the stock market. So now you have other determining factors coming in, determining the price of gold by the ounce. And let's
Right.
say 1,000. Let's say gold at $1,400 per ounce. Then the question will be what? Because we know it's different clarities of gold. You got 14K, you got 24K, you got 10K. You see what I'm saying? You see what we getting at with this?
Yeah.
And a lot of things just go deeper than what we were just told on the surface. And a lot of times, a lot of things that we were told on the at the beginning on the surface are now coming back to not add up. So the language, the things that we were taught, ain't adding up with the way things are going in life now. So that's why it's important to remember your history. So at least you can have some form of a foundation to base your future on. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if it, you know, I told somebody I haven't worked on Martin Luther King Day in 20 years. And then I work for a company now that I have to go to work tomorrow. So does that make the 20 years that I didn't work? What does that make that versus me going in tomorrow? So is that in vain or at not? Or have we have evolved to the point now that nothing have any significance based on the history anymore? Because we as people know what this day means to us, but we are in a generation now that may not feel that losing the day label is worth celebrating our history.
Oh, that's deep.
You see? And it all comes back to now. In the past, I can remember. I'm 42. I can remember when you couldn't, the stores were closed. And the significant, it was how significant, and maybe it because it was fresh in people's mind. And I have learned as time go on, a lot of things become less significant. Um, I can give you an example. As a child, birthdays used to mean so much. Or Christmas used to mean so much. But as you got older, then it became just another day. But does that devalue that day to the other people who would like to have that same um, enjoyment that you had when you was a child or when you was a kid? Just
Mm.
because I'm 42 and it don't mean that to me, that don't mean I have the right to devalue it based on what I feel, based on somebody else is feeling. And so remembering the dates, I have always remembered, and going back to the dates, like you said, the 15th, our third Monday of January every year we celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King. That was not going to school or not going to work, or you could always go turn your TV on and watch Ebenezer. There was at Ebenezer, the church, or they went to um, the King Center. And so all those things, but it, but look now to the point that it has gotten so significant that we're canceling parades, we're making stuff virtual, and they say, well, let's cancel the King Parade due to COVID. But what about the Christmas parade? What about the Independence Day parade? So then that goes to the value of what this is versus that. So one thing, going back to what full circle, can open up a lot of other doors and questions for a lot of things. So they go back to remember the significance of who we are as a person or what we are and what we believe in. I tell people, stand firm. Right or wrong, at least you can stand firm on what you believe. Don't be, wishy washy or nothing. Because we can deal with each other if we take a position. Then we can talk stuff out and mean. Like I may disagree with you, or you may disagree with me. But if we can come to the table and sit down and have a discussion, we may can come to a resolution.
Hmm.
But if I'm jumping from your side to my side, from my side to your side, we'll never come to a resolution because we have no starting point. Because the goalposts keep getting moved. And so I said all this to say this: we need to, as a society, stop moving the goalposts. Leave it sitting somewhere and let negotiate and have a talk like adults, and then a lot of our problems and situations can get handled.
I agree. Um, I agree. And the dates. No, I'm not talking about the fruit. I just going through what everything could possibly mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to bring up. Okay, a lot of people read stuff out of context just because they don't know the dates. What if
Mm-hmm.
I told you that a lot of us is reading the Bible wrong? It's because we don't know the importance of the date of language
Mm-hmm.
and date itself. What if the Bible? Okay, the Bible was written probably what, like a couple thousand years ago? Well,
Mm-hmm.
10,000
Right.
years
Well,
ago?
you have to put it in the context of a
No,
6,000, right?
it really
What?
got to be BC,
So let's go before Christ. So BC.
right?
Then you got AD. So when you put these things in the context, and you have to read the Bible based on the things, the culture, and the customs of those times versus the culture and customs
Oh yeah,
of these times, because we're in the Western civilization now here in America, right? So some of those customs back then may not fit the customs that are here today. So it could be foreign to some people if they try to take the Bible and do what they usually do and apply it based on those times. Like you know, one of the biggest topics that I have always, and you can, if you got the time, because I know how this finna go. Paul said, I usher women not to speak or exert authority over man. And so, at, people are to this day are using taking that to say, well, women shouldn't preach or they shouldn't pastor or they shouldn't have authority in churches. And so, the question would be, you have to go back to why did Paul make that statement at that time? Different setting. We knew that everything in that culture was man led. We knew they had multiple wives and multiple. And when they stood up in the synagogues and things at that time, the women would bicker and argue and fuss during the times of teaching, and that could have been the reason for that. But we know that in the Bible women have had significant roles. Deborah was a judge. You see, and so a lot of time, and I probably took you a direction.
Oh no, no, I'm listening.
Right from, and we know she, we know. So we have to put things in the proper context and
Hmm.
then base it on.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. So, all words have origins, and they began somewhere, just like human life.
Mm-hmm.
So some terms that we have today didn't exist, but they newly created. Um, so these new terms didn't exist when that Bible was written up, and some of them terms are in the Bible today.
Mm-hmm.
They were placed in there. Um, and it's important, if the word God didn't exist in 10 didn't come into existence until 10,000 years ago, and the Bible is older than that, before BC, then I mean, and we've been so used to saying, that term being in there, and and using it to, you know, we put ourselves in a box. So we really don't be doing like the critical research that we need to do to understand things. And so did you know that the word silly used to mean holy, but the silly evolved. It went from holy to being happy
Mm-hmm.
to being foolish to
Mm-hmm.
being just stupid. Yeah, and okay. I mean, man, it's a lot. It's a lot to
Mm-hmm.
language to
Just like
tell
the
it.
word "no," the Bible will say, "Well, Adam knew his wife, and we got Cain." So
Okay.
now we can say, "Well, yeah, I know Jim." you know, now
Yeah,
no don't
man.
evolve from being intimate with your wife to, yeah, that's somebody I know from around the way.
See that no that was being used there. The linguists
Mm-hmm.
in the university would say that that definition no longer is that meaning no longer exists because people don't use it no more.
Right.
And so now that meaning there is debunked, and now no means knowledge, remember, all that stuff. You see what I'm saying? Slowly over
Mm-hmm.
time, if you don't use
Right.
a word, they debunk it, and and you try to say, "Oh yeah, man, I remember using that word. I'm finna bring it back," but you're using that word and it's not accepted. But it's the original word though. It's the original word though. So why is it not accepted? Only I have come to this consciousness. And people like, nah, man. I ain't never known that to be the word. And that ain't in no dictionary either, that meaning there. So I'm like, hold on, why not? It's the original. That word came from this word. So we
Mm-hmm.
don't see that as important? No. Because, okay. Now, like, see, you go deeper, critical thinking. You go
Okay.
all the way deep. So, all right, hold on now. So you saying that, hey man, people don't worship like they used to.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring the original worship back. I'm trying to bring the original. No, don't nobody worship like that no more. But this is hard for the no man. That been debunked. It's something new now. See what I'm saying? Slowly but surely, you moving far away from the truth. Hold up, man. We were closer to God. Hold up, but I did it though, and we ain't do that no more like that. But hold up, that moving farther from God though. You know, well, what you're claiming is not being accepted by the common people. So that can't possibly be true. You know what I'm saying? And so now you got people, people far from their original nature or original things they used to do. At the beginning, it was pure. At the beginning, going back to the beginning is pure. You're going back to purity, pureness. Now coming away from that, you're losing confusion. You're confusing. You're getting bamboozled, by yourself and things like that. And so why? And so history, history tells us where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. But people say history is the past. Why you want to talk about the past for? That's old stuff. That stuff ain't look at what happened today. Focus on the day. But history gives me my identity. History gives me my identity. But now is that history is not being embraced. So when it's spoken, it's not accepted. I'm talking about the new generation. It's not accepted. So we took something that's happened here. We're teaching the wrong principles, and therefore the world is, I guess, how it is how it is today because of those factors. A lot of confusion, a lot of people who don't know who they are, a lot of people getting bamboozled and manipulated through contracts and things like that because we're lacking the true principles. Um, yeah, we're lacking the true principles. Like, I ain't gonna bring it up, but I'm gonna just create a fictional story to say it because I don't want to, give no personal stuff out. So there's a guy, Bob, and he applied for some services from let's just say the electric company for them to come fix his electric circuits in his house. So okay, Ball had got the electric people to come out once, and they moved the circuits around. One thing started working back, but the other stuff was still broke. And Bob like, okay, you know what I'm saying, I'm paying. But Bob had, you know, he had not read the terms that you were talking about, the terms of use of services and all that. And he did not know that, once he had signed up and gave like his credit card number, that they were going to take money out monthly. It wasn't something that you just pay up front, but it was like monthly being taken out of his account. So the electric people didn't come back, wasn't coming back out, but money was still being taken out of Bob's account. You know what I'm saying? So Bob calls down there to the electric company, and he's like, okay, money is still coming up out of my account. Why is this? I haven't I haven't received any services lately. Yeah, but you signed up. Yes. Yes. When them clothes get to washing, because I'm gonna need that pad in the morning tomorrow. Uh-huh. Will you put them in the dryer? Yeah, I will. I already got it set, so just take them out the washing machine, just put it on, okay? Okay. I already got the dryer set. Okay, I will. So yeah, so he want to know why money being taken out of account, and then they tell him, "Have you read the contract?" The contract. I thought it was an application, not a contract. Oh no, it was a contract. And so now Bob got himself in a predicament that you know it's only his fault. And there's no excuse for being ignorant of the law and of contracts. It's your fault. If you get caught, that you can't say, "Oh, I was ignorant of that." No, they ain't showing no mercy. You know, you have to know. You have to know. You got to get out here and know, because knowing is is everything. That that security.
Mackenzie.
But
What is the problem? Is it a problem?
we're gonna
Yeah, what's the problem? What is it, Miracle? Come on. Oh, I'm sorry.
so hello. So we're gonna try to end it, Gabriel, and we're just gonna thank everybody for coming out and supporting Civilized Eyes podcast. And what we try to do here is Civilized Eyes, the perspective. Some people might disagree with the content that we express here, and some people may agree. But hey, there's a lot of pros and cons to everything, and we don't claim to know it all. Uh, but we tried our best to get out and to know, to study and to know as much as we can, so we can be exact and affirmative in the things that we say and declare. Um, but so we want to just display, give out the contact information for our podcast and us. So if anyone have any comments um, concerning this video or any questions concerning this video, y'all can use that contact info. The email is civilized eyes podcast at gmail.com. That's CIVILIZEDEYESPODCAST at gmail.com. You can email us there and you will get a response. I'm monitoring that email all day long. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Uh, you can also find our podcast on this YouTube channel by just typing into the edit box, Civilized Eyes Podcast. A couple videos gonna come up, maybe the channel too, and you can just click on it. And make sure you like, subscribe, and press the settings. Click on settings and turn on your notification for all our videos. Make sure you stay up to date on our podcast. Sometimes we just have like some long sessions because some of the topics be interesting. But let us know what you think we should talk about, because we want to touch on the things of our audience. We want to do a lot of research and studying and deep into it. I'm Darian Tucker, and I was your host today.
And
Gabriel.
and I'm Gabriel Bruce, and we look forward to seeing y'all next week. God bless you. Have a blessed day.
Yeah. Oh, before I get off of here, I'm gonna try to see if I can see when come in. I see. So sometimes I can comment when someone comments live, and they don't have to wait until after the podcast to get a response. Oh, comment. Oh, yeah. See, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, so guys, I'm finna end the broadcast. Just wanted to see that. Have a nice night.